Am I a bet? Am I a bet?
The guy who wrote The Sixth Sense secretly did an uncredited rewrite on a teen rom-com about a high school makeover bet. She's All That turned a $7 million budget into $103 million at the box office and made Kiss Me one of the biggest songs of '99. These are 14 secrets behind the scenes of this '90s classic. Number 1. Here's the jaw-dropper that broke the internet in 2013. M. Night, yes, the twist-ending thriller guy, did an uncredited rewrite of She's All That. Now, if you haven't seen this movie in a while, it's the '99 teen rom-com where Freddie Prinze Jr. plays a dumped prom king who bets he can turn the school's artsy outcast into prom queen in just 6 weeks. Starring Rachael Leigh Cook, and somehow featuring Usher, Lil Kim, Anna Paquin, Gabrielle Union, Paul Walker, and a secret Buffy cameo we'll get to later. The film became a defining '90s teen movie alongside 10 Things I Hate About You, American Pie, and Cruel Intentions. But back to M. Night. This rewrite happened the same year he wrote The Sixth Sense and co-wrote Stuart Little. Let that sink in. When M. Night mentioned this during a 2013 interview, credited screenwriter R. Lee Fleming Jr. fired back on Twitter calling it a lie. The drama got so messy that Miramax's former head of development Jack Lechner had to step in and confirm both writers contributed. Fleming wrote the screenplay Miramax purchased.
No, you're wrong. See, the Taylor Vaughn you just described is an illusion, a myth.
And M. Night later performed an uncredited rewrite, not a wholesale script swap, to deepen the characters. Producer Richard N. Gladstein revealed M. Night's tweaks helped enormously with the father-daughter relationship between Lainey and her dad, played by Kevin Pollak. The wildest part, the cast had no idea. When Freddie heard about it years later, he thought it was a bunch of BS. Rachel joked, "Yeah, and I kidnapped the Lindbergh baby." Gabrielle tweeted, "I was in this movie and had no idea." Plot twist within a plot twist? Classic M. Night. Number 2. Rapper Lil Kim had a small role as Alex, one of the popular girls. Many people on set, including the director, didn't initially realize how famous she was. Freddie knew, and he was shocked. Freddie told the Daily Beast, "This movie cost us $6 million to make. It was not a big budget film." Lil Kim showed up in a stretch limousine to the set and was wearing almost our budget in diamond earrings, rings, necklaces, sunglasses, high-heeled shoes with diamonds on top. Cast member Jodie Lynn O'Keefe later said Lil Kim was so funny and had a great sense of humor. In fact, O'Keefe recalls that she loved her from the start.
Just heard. Congrats.
Thanks. You totally deserved it.
The contrast between the film's shoestring budget and Lil Kim's million-dollar accessories perfectly captured the weird magic of late '90s teen movies where future megastars showed up for tiny roles in low-budget films that became massive hits. Number 3. Actors usually want their best takes to make the final cut. Rachel tried to ruin hers. In the scene right before Lainey's first kiss with Zach, Rachel felt like her performance wasn't working. She didn't like what she was doing, so she tried to sabotage the take by excessively blinking, thinking it would force the director to call for another shot. It didn't work. The director loved it. Rachel told NBC's Today Show that the nervous blinking performance actually became the iconic moment that made it into the film.
And I had started a take, and I could tell that I didn't really like what I was doing, but I was just like, okay, well, they won't use this if I blink a lot. Yes, they did.
What she saw as a failure turned into perfect nervous charm that fit Lainey's character perfectly. Meanwhile, during that same climactic scene where Lainey confronts Zach asking, "Am I a bet?" Rachel remembered that Prince was genuinely emotional. He was kind of choked up, and that was definitely the cutest thing I'd ever seen, she revealed.
And Freddie was so upset about it. Like, he kind of was emotional in that moment because he'd really taken on what a person who, had done that might feel like. And
sometimes the best performances happen when actors think they're messing up. Have you ever accidentally nailed something you thought you ruined? That's the vibe. Number 4. That iconic prom dance scene set to The Rockefeller Skank? It almost didn't exist. Director Robert Iskov, a trained choreographer, decided late in production to expand the prom sequence with a big dance number. He brought in Adam Shankman, who later directed Hairspray and judged So You Think You Can Dance, to choreograph, with Ann Fletcher assisting. The scene was choreographed in a 1960s style, complete with synchronized moves that featured everyone from Usher to Lil Kim to Gabrielle Union to Anna Paquin. Here's the problem. When test audiences watched it, they were confused. Why does everyone suddenly know this perfectly choreographed routine? Studio head Bob Weinstein demanded reshoots to explain it. That's when things got complicated. Usher was already on tour. The studio had to coordinate with his team, fly him to Chicago, and shoot additional DJ scenes in a matter of hours before getting him back on the road. In those reshoots, Usher shouts from the DJ booth, "Right about now, we're going to do that dance I taught you." Problem solved.
Yeah, earthquakes. Right about now, we're gonna do that dance I taught you. And I know you've been practicing.
I forgive you. Let's dance.
Except, that explanation still doesn't make total sense. When did Usher teach the entire school a synchronized dance? During lunch? After school workshops? Nobody knows. Nobody cares. It's iconic. But here's the wildest part about this scene. It was created on basically no budget. Costume designer Denise Wingate revealed they had no budget for the prom, so they got everything. All the white, black, and gold outfits from the Salvation Army and completely reworked them. Think about that. One of the most memorable prom scenes in teen movie history, featuring future megastars like Lil Kim, Gabrielle Union, and Usher, was dressed entirely in thrift store finds. The crew later admitted they spent more money flying Usher back for one line of dialogue than they did on the entire prom wardrobe. They called it the most expensive band-aid in the movie. Director Robert Iscove later said, "We probably should have thought of that explanation before we shot the scene. But hey, we got Usher back. Worth it." The scene became one of the most memorable moments in the entire film. A perfect storm of last-minute creativity, budget constraints, and pure 90s energy. And it almost didn't happen at all. Number 5. Let's talk about the infamous pizza prank scene. Bullies try to mess with Laney's deaf brother Simon, played by Kieran Culkin, by putting pubic hairs on his pizza slice. Zach intervenes and forces the bullies to hoover their own creation.
Action too. No way, man. Those are his pubes. Wow. I guess you should have thought about that before you picked on my friend Simon, huh?
The pubic hairs were made from corn husks. But here's where it gets wild. The studio spent hours debating how many corn husks to use to maintain the PG-13 rating. Director Robert Iscove told the Daily Beast, "There were hours of conversations about, well, how many corn stalks do we put on the pizza? Has he torn out all of his pubes? Or only a couple of pubes?" The gross-out humor was intentional. Studios believed rom-coms needed moments like this to appeal beyond just the core audience. It's a very 90s approach to broad appeal. But here's why the scene actually matters. It's the moment where Zach proves he's changing. He doesn't just defend Laney, he defends her brother. That's character growth disguised as gross-out comedy. Oh, and if you're a Buffy fan, stick around. There's a Sarah Michelle Gellar secret coming that almost nobody caught in theaters. Number 6. Remember that scene where Zach shows off impressive hacky sack skills in the courtyard? Freddie absolutely could not do it. Despite multiple attempts and coaching, Freddie struggled with the coordination. For close-up shots, he managed a few basic moves. But for the more impressive sequences, they brought in a world champion hacky sacker as his stunt double.
Drop.
The production used creative editing and camera angles to make it look like Freddie was pulling off the tricks himself. If you watch closely, you can spot when the double takes over, but most viewers never noticed. The scene works because it establishes Zach as the effortlessly cool guy who's good at everything. The irony? The actor playing him needed a professional to pull it off. Number 7. Sixpence None the Richer's Kiss Me was featured in the film during the romantic pool dance scene. After the movie's success, the song exploded. It climbed to number 2 on Billboard's Hot 100 and stayed in the top 10 for 16 straight weeks. It also hit number 4 in the UK and New Zealand. The film was even released in Italy under the title Kiss Me instead of She's All That. The song became so synonymous with late 90s romance that it's still used in wedding playlists, prom mixes, and nostalgic movie compilations decades later. Lead singer Leigh Nash later said the song's success was completely unexpected. It had been released earlier with modest success, but She's All That catapulted it into cultural phenomenon status. What memory does this song bring back for you? The pool scene where Zach and Laney dance under twinkle lights became one of the most referenced moments in teen rom-com history, and the song became inseparable from it. The song's staying power is almost unprecedented for a 90s teen movie track. Most songs from that era feel dated now, stuck in their time. But Kiss Me? It still sounds timeless, sweet, innocent, and genuinely romantic without being cheesy. Why did Kiss Me survive when so many other 90s movie songs didn't? Part of it is the simplicity. It's just a sweet, earnest love song with no gimmicks, no dated production tricks. But the bigger reason is the pool scene itself. That moment, Zach and Laney dancing under the stars, finally dropping their guards, captured something universal about first love. The song didn't just accompany the scene, it defined it. Nash has said that fans tell her the song soundtracked their proposals, first dances, and most important moments. it became bigger than the band itself. The pool scene, with its twinkle lights, the intimacy, the chemistry between Freddie and Rachel, would have been memorable on its own. But Kiss Me turned it into something iconic.
You don't take art.
Yeah, but I'm thinking more along the lines of performance art. Be silent, be still, be silent.
Zach.
What?
Shut up.
It's the song that plays in your head when you think about late 90s teen romance. And it all started with a $7 million rom-com that turned a modestly successful song into a cultural phenomenon. And speaking of absurd, wait until you hear what Matthew Lillard demanded before taking his role. Number 8. Lillard played Brock Hudson, the reality TV star who steals Zach's girlfriend Taylor. Brock is shallow, vain, and obsessed with his appearance. Lillard demanded a personal trainer before taking the role, which is hilarious considering he was playing a character who's supposed to be a parody of vanity and superficiality. The irony wasn't lost on the cast and crew. Lillard also got to showcase his dance moves in a solo performance during the prom scene.
You wouldn't even talk to me. You say I'm so crazy.
Years later, he returned to the She's All That universe by playing the high school principal in the 2021 remake He's All That. And yes, he recreated some of the original dance moves during the prom sequence. Number 9. Kieran Culkin played Simon, Lainey's younger brother who wears hearing aids throughout the film, and the movie never explains why. Here's the behind-the-scenes chaos. The original script had Simon as a deaf character with an entire storyline. That subplot got cut during production, but nobody thought to remove the hearing aids. So they just stayed. Even Culkin was confused. When asked about it years later, "Why did you have hearing aids?" "I don't know." Simon wears hearing aids because of a script rewrite that forgot to remove a prop.
Zach, mi compadre con queso.
I believe you said you were cleaning.
Peak 90s filmmaking. The accidental result? It actually makes Simon feel more authentic. He's not the deaf character. He's just Lainey's weird artsy brother who happens to wear hearing aids. Number 10. Miramax co-head. Harvey Weinstein was heavily involved in script development and casting for She's All That. According to director Robert Iskov, Weinstein was able to get great actors in very small parts as personal favors. Producer Richard N. Gladstein noted, "There were other films that you could have seen them in, but they weren't usually the leads in those films." The ensemble included future Oscar winner Anna Paquin, Kieran Culkin, Dule Hill, Gabrielle in her film debut, Usher, Lil Kim, and the late Paul Walker. Producer Richard Gladstein explained, "In some ways, we were going back to what were like the John Hughes movies I grew up on. They were all people that could be leading people, but who weren't necessarily before. And the group of them together made for a sort of shining ensemble. The casting strategy worked. These weren't established A-listers phoning it in. They were hungry young actors bringing energy and authenticity to the high school setting." Number 11. Before Freddie and Rachel became Zach and Lainey, the casting process went through tons of 90s rising stars. Director Robert Iskov said, "I remember talking to Josh Hartnett for the role that Freddie did, and pretty much anybody who was young and either in a hit TV show or starting to break in features. For Lainey's role, they considered Lily Sobieski, Mina Suvari, fresh off American Beauty, and Jordana Brewster, who later starred in The Fast and the Furious. Kevin Pollak, who played Lainey's dad, revealed he signed on specifically because he was impressed by Freddie's performance in The House of Yes and wanted to work with him. Once Freddie was cast, the character was slightly rewritten. Freddie said, "I made him a little sweeter probably than he was originally written, so that when he did mess up but he felt bad for it, people gave him some sympathy rather than saying, ah, he's a jerk."
Speaking of ass jumping, isn't that your boy now?
That tweak made all the difference in making Zach likable instead of just another entitled popular kid. Josh Hartnett as Zach? Could you see it? Number 12. Blink and you'll miss her, but Sarah Michelle Gellar has a cameo in She's All That. She appears briefly in the cafeteria as a student passing pepper, but she doesn't speak a single word. Why? Because she specifically requested a non-speaking role.
Fresh ground pepper. What, too cold?
Gellar was visiting her boyfriend and future husband, Freddie Prinze Jr. on set. Director Robert Iskov asked if she'd do a quick cameo, and Gellar agreed, but only if she didn't have to say any lines. And to get Buffy in the movie was certainly a big deal because at that point, Buffy was huge. Gellar later joked on Instagram, "I think you really understood that my character did not want Pepper." The cameo was so low-key that it wasn't even officially credited, though she's acknowledged in the end credits under the section titled They're All That. But here's the real reason she was so conveniently available. Number 13. She's All That was filmed at Torrance High School in California, the same location used for exterior shots of Sunnydale High in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This connection is why Sarah Michelle Gellar was conveniently nearby for her cameo. She was literally already there filming Buffy pickups when Freddie asked if she wanted to pop into a scene. The same high school was later used in Not Another Teen Movie, 2001, which parodied She's All That line by line in some scenes. There's something fitting about multiple 90s teen properties sharing the same campus. It's like a shared universe of coming-of-age stories, all filtered through the same sun-drenched California high school aesthetic. Number 14. In September 2020, Netflix announced He's All That, a gender-swapped remake starring TikTok star Addison Rae as an influencer who tries to transform a social outcast, Tanner Buchanan, into prom king. The film was directed by Mark Waters, Mean Girls, with original screenwriter R. Lee Fleming Jr. writing the script. It premiered in August 2021. Here's the nostalgia bomb. Rachael Leigh Cook returned to play Paget's, Addison Rae's, supportive mother. Matthew Lillard also came back as the high school principal, recreating his dance moves from the original. The remake didn't just reference the original, it worshipped it. There's a shot-for-shot recreation of the "Am I a bet" confrontation. The iconic staircase makeover reveal got the same treatment. Even the prom dance scene pays homage to the original choreography. And then there's Matthew Lillard, who played the villain Brock Hudson in the original, now playing the principal who breaks into the same dance moves he did 22 years earlier. Critical reception was mixed, but fans appreciated the callbacks to the original. The fact that Netflix bet on remaking it and brought back the original cast to pass the torch proved one thing. The movie's influence wasn't just a 90s moment. It was a blueprint that still works. 26 years later, here's what makes She's All That so damn memorable. It's not just that it made $103 million on a $7 million budget. It's not just that it launched careers or made Kiss Me one of the biggest songs of '99. It's that it captured a specific moment in teen movie history, the late 90s wave that valued ensemble casts of fresh faces over established stars. Movies like 10 Things I Hate About You and She's All That succeeded because their casts felt like real teenagers, even though they were all in their 20s. Sure, the message about makeovers and conformity hasn't aged perfectly, but the film's heart, about looking past surface-level judgments and finding connection, still resonates. And let's be honest, it's a time capsule of 1999 in the best way possible. Hacky sax, Usher as a DJ, and M. Night Shyamalan secretly making teen rom-coms between thrillers. From ghostwriting directors to silent cameos, from choreographed chaos to cornhusk debates, She's All That is packed with secrets that are just as entertaining as the movie itself. Which secret blew your mind? Comment below and let me know what movie I should cover next.